Hello, David Thornton here. Today I want to show you how to make my delicious chocolate chip cookies. Man, they're really good stuff. Let's get right to it. Let me go over the ingredients with you. All right, to make the dough, we're going to use 1 cup of brown sugar and 3 tablespoons of just regular white granulated sugar. We're just going to go ahead and put that in there. All right, and then we're going to use 1 stick of softened, unsalted butter. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there too. So we're going to start by mixing the butter and the sugar together. All right, so we got 1 cup. We got 1 cup of light brown sugar. We got 3 tablespoons of regular sugar, and then we're going to use 1 egg and 1.5 cups of flour. Now to the flour, we're going to add, I use these little sleeves of some high quality instant coffee. It's about 2 teaspoons if you just got some regular instant coffee or whatever type of instant coffee you prefer. This is just a little stronger. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add the 2 teaspoons of instant coffee to the flour mixture. And then we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now I use unsalted butter, so we got 1/2 teaspoon of salt. All right, now we also have 1 large egg, and I'm going to go ahead and add a teaspoon or 2, about 2 teaspoons of vanilla to go in there. And then after we get the batter made, the dough made, we're going to use 1 really good cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. Okay, so I got all the baking powder, baking soda, the coffee, the instant coffee, and the salt all in the flour, and I just want to kind of mix that together just a little bit. All right, so we're going to put the sugar and the butter on here and hit it with the mixer just a little bit. Now this makes 11 or 12 large cookies. So let's just hit this just a little bit. All right, we're just going to blend the butter and the brown sugar, the sugars together. All right, now we want to go ahead and just add the egg and the vanilla. Hit that a little bit. All right, as soon as that gets blended together, let's just go ahead and we're going to add all our flour and salt and all the baking flour stuff. All right. All right, just make sure there's no dry stuff left in there. Let's rake down the sides 1 time. And we're going to hit it just 1 more little time. All right, that's good. All right, these cookies are so easy to make. All right, now I've got 2 large cookie sheets behind me, and I like to use a ice cream scoop to make the cookies the right size. All right. All right, I got this dough here. Now you can see that it's not dry at all. That you want to make sure that it's just all blended together and not dry. But if you follow the recipe, it works pretty doggone good. All right. So we got all that mixed together. All we need to do is add our chocolate chips. Now you're welcome to add some pecans or walnuts, but today we're just going to go with the chocolate chips. And I like to make calls for a cup. The recipe calls for a cup, but I like to make it kind of like a heaping cup. I'd rather have too many than not enough. All right, so we're just gonna spoon this together. Just until it's mixed. All right, looks really good. All right, so let's move this out of the way. Move some of this stuff out of the way. All right, now we got our 2 large cookie sheets. All right, now we're just going to use the ice cream scoop. And like I said, I like to make them just like a small scoop of ice cream. It's a pretty big scoop, but I mean, you know, as far as a cookie's concerned, but we need to get at least 11 or 12. Now I've got the oven for the cookies preheated to 350. I like to make them like a certain size, so if I come up with 11 instead of 12, it's just going to be that way. Looks like we're going to get 12 this time. Perfect. All right. So we're going to place these in this 350-degree oven over here for 11 minutes. Now we want these to just barely get browned on the top, just barely get browned. And then once we take them out, the cookie sheets are still hot, so they still kind of continue to cook just a little bit once you take them out. So we're going to put them in the oven over here for 11 minutes. All right, I'll be back with you in 11 minutes and we'll see how they look. All right, them cookies have been cooking for right at 12 minutes. We had to leave them just a minute longer because they weren't quite ready yet. But we're gonna get them out of there now. All right, they look delicious. Now we're gonna leave them on the pan here and let them cool for about a good 10 minutes before we scrape them off the warm pan. All right, the cookies have been sitting here cooling for about 10 minutes, but they're still warm. So we wanna go ahead and just take just loosen them here on the pan. All right, now we got them loose. We're just gonna let them sit there until they cool completely before I put them on a serving dish. All right, the chocolate chip cookies have cooled completely. So let's plate them. Man, these things are good. Well, there you have Dave's chocolate chip cookies. These things are really good stuff. Hey, I appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoy the food. Check out some of my other videos. And once again, I appreciate your time. Thank you.